struggling. Go into your little home so you can record me streaming. And I think I need to adjust this a little. I feel like what's wrong? Something's different here. I'm not sure what. Ah. Okay, good enough. Hello everyone, this is Bonbon Station. I am here almost a whole hour late because I just had to eat. I did quite a bit of gardening today, and by the time I was done showering, it was 10 minutes until time to stream. And I just really needed to eat, just replenish all the energy I burnt. And it's not like anyone ever comes in within the first hour I'm streaming, so it's okay, it doesn't matter. So yeah, here I am, finally. Alright, so here's the game plan today, guys. Last time I streamed drawing, I believe I had a lot of circles left, but I managed to cut down quite a few, so we have left here is to finish the cape up here. Gotta finish this hand, gotta finish this hand and this arm. Gotta finish this right here. You know what, I'm kind of noticing that this is like kind of off. This should probably be more angled. Anyway, and then gotta finish up the pants. And if I'm not feeling like a lazy piece of crap, I will change these pants to be the proper kind of pants. Oh, you know what I'm noticing too? This is like totally off center. Well, that's okay. I can fix it. But yeah, if I'm not feeling like a lazy piece of crap, I will change the pants into the proper type of fabric, I guess, because they're not leather. That was my mistake when I didn't look at the ref. But yeah, we're getting there. I also added on this checkers to Chrom's collar, which was definitely not there last stream. And I feel like it really just adds like this completeness, like this adds this complete touch to it, which makes me really happy. This makes me feel like I can really see the finish line, even though there's still quite a few things to do. But it is nice that I am, I don't know, just really seeing my progress, and I don't know, hopefully I can actually finish it by the end of this week. So yeah, let's get it going. I really want to finish these hands because that's pretty easy, and it would just be nice to just be like, alright, that's done. So let's finish up these hands. Actually, let me get the shadow. Let me actually get this one. And so yes, you guys can see in the title, I said today I'm going to be talking about chrobin AU because I can. Okay? I am in that kind of mood. I'm returning back to my AU fanfic ways. I would like to thank my friendo Dawn, who got me back on this. She linked me a while back her Chrobin Week fanfic AU submissions, her little one-shots. And I hadn't read them because she linked me back in the beginning of December. And I just hadn't touched them because I was not home, I think, most of December. And so I was just like, oh, I'll read it when it's a good time. But yeah, I shortly became very, very depressed around the new year, and just since then had just been too sad to read any kind of fanfic. Just, you know, no, couldn't feel it. But yeah, just after a situation in real life happened, I just was so angry and just like had all this energy, just like I just didn't know what to do with it. Um, and I had like already showered that day, so I didn't want to go work out. And so I was like, if only I had fanfic, like I could just chill the f out. So I remembered how she linked me, and I was like, okay, like because I was at first I was kind of like, oh, like should I look for a fic? And it's like, oh, like no, I don't want to. But then because I didn't want to go through the whole trouble of like wasting time just looking for a fic and like it's just reading stuff I don't feel like reading, like it's not what I'm feeling. But yeah, then I remembered my friend, she had linked me, and I I trust her. I trust her writing. I trust her characterization. All that, the whole 9 yards. And so I was like, okay, like I can read that because one, I know they're gonna be short because they're little one shots. She usually doesn't write very long. And two, like I said, I just trust her writing. So it felt like something I could kind of commit to, like just didn't have to think about it too much. So I went to read it, and already just off her first fic, I was just very happy, just laughing my butt off, cracking my ass off, as the bonbon says. And and yeah, it just was just the little thing I needed, the little watering in my life to make some cracks in my hardened heart. And yeah, just guys, I had just before I read that, when I was really sad, like I couldn't even think about AUs. I couldn't like I just was just not in the mood for any of that. And guys, I love to make AUs. I'm like freaking AU queen, okay? So yeah, she just kind of got me back on it, and I just been rethinking about um AUs, and I've been coming up with a new AU and all that, and it's been nice, guys. It's just been nice to return to one of my comforts, because that was honestly making me more sad of just knowing I didn't have like ships to fall back on. So yeah, but yeah, I just been kind of perking up. I haven't read any other fanfics besides hers. Well, she did link me a new one that she just finished. And so I need to read that soon, but I just been doing a lot of laborious things that when it's nighttime and my time to I like to read and sit outside, enjoy the stars and the moon, and be in a vibe while reading a fic. I just been too tired. I tried last night, but I was just like, ugh. I just couldn't. So yes, I would like to read it today, but I'm also like already feeling pretty tired. Pew 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew. I need to look how I did Lucina's. Give me this color. Give me this color. Give me this color. Give me this color. I like to select like the colors I need so that way I can have them. It's right there. It's easy to grab. So what AU shall I talk about first? Um let me just tell you about an AU just I recently came up with. There's not much substance to it yet because it's literally like brand new, maybe like 2 days old at most. Did I come up with it yesterday? I don't know. Time is a lie. But it was inspired by an ASMR I came across. Oh, sorry about the hiccups, guys. Since I literally just like finished eating. I didn't even finish eating. I took a few bites before starting this stream because I just needed some food. So I'm getting those after eats hiccups. I'm a baby. I'm just a freaking McBaby. That's just it. So yeah, so this is an AU I came up with recently. It's very, this doesn't have much substance, but I will just tell you a little of what I got. So let me tell you about the ASMR video so that way you can understand like where I got inspired. But this ASMR video I got recommended. It was this guy. It was like a tailor, like a clothing tailor video, and it was set in like he said it's listed Victorian, but it's more like it felt more like kind of like 1920s type setting. But I mean he was just trying to make do with what he got, you know. So that's the setting where the fanfic too being like the very early 1900s, possibly like the very late 1800s, because it's about 1910 where the Victorian style ended, because before Victorian is Regency, and then goes into Victorian, and then it becomes what do you even call the era that's like the 1910s to about the 1950s? Because then we get the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s and then 2000s, and yeah. If you don't know what the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s and the 90s were, like what kind of fashion styles were going on, you need to get yourself educated, get cultured. So yeah, so it's like early 1900s era, this fanfic, and this also this ASMR. And so yeah, that was just my whole spark of this Taylor video set in that type of era. So AU is that era, early 1900s. Emmerin owns a tailor shop. She's a tailor. She's a seamstress. And Crom helps her out because she's sickly. Like he helps with any kind of labor thing, bringing over the fabrics, cleaning and all that, because Lissa is a nurse and so she works on that, and Emmerin does need help, so Crom just helps her. And when he's free, he'll help with the odd jobs, laborious jobs down at the port or something, or just because people know he's really strong. He has a reputation of being extremely strong, so random people will be like, hey, like can you help me with this, I'll pay you. And so he earns money through that. But yeah, he mostly just sticks with Emmerin and helps her out and helps her watch the shop and all that. Especially since that's a tough time period for women. Crom recognizes that, and so he also likes to just stay with her, so that way no type of stupid guys will try to cross her, because he dare. So yeah, so Emmerin is a seamstress, and Grima, we're going with Grima instead of Robin. It's Grima. So this is a Grima AU. And I'm sorry, check my phone. Okay, Mochi, come on. Stop talking about your gay things again, Mama. Stop. Stop. Oh, my little fat fluffy baby. Okay, anyway. I just love when Mochi stares at me and judges me. Yeah. I need the judging you, Mama. I need the judging you. Right, anyway. um so yeah, that time era, and I'm not sure exactly how to make it that like Grima meets them. I think he just kind of one day wanders in because he needs some clothes adjusted. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm kind of thinking like maybe he was out for some task and one of his clothes got caught into something and tore, and so he just decided to stop by the closest tailor shop. I was also kind of thinking maybe he goes a little deeper, that maybe like he met Crom before and Crom just made an impression on him, and so he intentionally went to that tailor shop because he wanted to talk to Crom again. I don't know, but anyway, Grima goes into the tailor shop and gets his clothes mended, and he appreciates Emeren's fine work. It's genuinely good. So he decides on a later date to come in for some measurings so that he can get some clothes tailored by her. And well, off the first meeting of Crom, so I'm gonna assume this is just his first meeting, so that way it is easier to think about. But yeah, his first meeting with Crom, he's very what is it, enchanted, very ready smitten, because Crom is just a very charming man. And so yeah, so he just like extra decides he'll come back because Crom just gives him the butterflies, because that's how Grima is. Because you know, Grima's a very strict and harsh man, and that people just, you know, were like, sir. He was very trying to be respectful and all that. Is this the same color? Nope, this one's brighter. So yeah, he just Crom's friendliness hits a little different. Since he's so used to just being like, I don't know, he's the master of his house, so yeah. And he decides on a later date to come back because he just does enjoy Emeren's fine work and has been looking for a new tailor. Because I don't know, I guess his home one is probably old and like probably gonna retire soon, so he knows he needs to be looking soon. And so yeah, he what is it? Sorry guys, I why am I I'm trying to brainstorm at the same time while drawing. So he comes back later. And probably Emeren is temporarily away. Crom's just watching over the shop for Emeren, who's probably getting like a checkup or something. And so Grima wants his measurements, and Crom is just like, oh, like I'm so sorry, like my sister's away, like would you like to come back another time? And Grima, who doesn't actually want to leave, is just like, can't you take my measurements? Like, don't make my trip a waste of time. And like basically just Grima just very insistent that Crom takes his measurements, and so Crom attempts, because he at least has watched his sister do it enough times to be like, okay, like I do remember she does it like this and all that. And so he takes his measurements, and like Crom knows that he's like, at least recognizes that he must be a wealthy man, because just for the last time he came in to get some clothes mended, he paid quite a lot, because he was a rush job, and so he recognized that and paid accordingly to what Emerin deserved for just getting him in, penciling him in real quick. And so Grima just secretly happy that it's Crom taking his measurements. And Crom is just kind of like low-key panicking, like, oh god, like I do and don't know what I'm doing. So also, yeah, after like in the meanwhile, like Crom tries to converse a little. Just thinking of the questions that his sister you would usually ask, like what type of styles do you prefer? What is the occasion for this? What, I don't know, just preferences and all that. Just trying to just fake it to make it. And so they Crom is also like half like just kind of somewhat conversing, but just also like, okay, need to do this well, like trying to focus a little, and Grima is just intently watching him, which makes Crom a little more nervous. So they managed to get through it, and Crom, after he's done, after he notes it, all the measurements, but he even just tells Grima that he's never done it before. Just it's like, when his sister gets in, he'll need her to review it. So if next time Grima comes in when his sister's there, if she could just confirm it again. Which Grima is just like, whatever, sure, fine. Just trying to be nonchalant. But anyway, Emerin. And so when they're done measuring, Crom does things that he for sure knows he can at least do, like he's confident in. He brings out their book that has their fabric samples, and like also the styles Emerin has, that her patterns that she can make, and like just allows Grima to go through it, and it's based off his own experience with some of the clothing that the Crom personally has. Just tells Grima a little bit about it. So while they're going through that, Emerin comes back and is like, oh, like what's going on, like a customer, and so Crom explains the situation, like, oh, like this is this customer came back, and he wanted to actually, he wanted his measurements and all that, and like tells Emerin that she should retake them because Crom's not sure if he did them right. and all that, and yeah, so Grima gets quite a chunk of time with Crom, and so yeah, Emerin takes some, just reviews what Crom did, fixes accordingly to what he mistook on, and yeah, just just Emerin just finishes out the deal of just like, I can do this for you. This is my turnaround time. Blah 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 blah. Um, and all that, and so yeah, they finish up, and Grima requests when she's done with his first batch of clothes that he's ordering, um, for for her to come deliver it to his house, so he doesn't have to go over. Um, because he is indeed a busy man as master of his household. But Emerin is just like, I'm sorry, like, I would like to, but my health doesn't allow me to, and that's quite far. Like, I don't think I can make the trip, because Grima was also offering to pay extra for her to come deliver it. So when the clothes are done, and she can fit it, you see how it feels, and then make any adjustments if needed. Because if there are any adjustments, she'd have to take it back with her and then come deliver again. So Grima was offering quite a high price for the general delivery, and that Ibn Crown was like, what? Like, whoa. That both of them were just like, oh, but she still had to reject because it was something she felt like she couldn't fulfill. Um. So, but Crom is kind of like, it would really help with her treatments, paying for her treatments. So he pipes up and is like, I can deliver for you, like, I have the strength and the health, like, don't worry, like, you're the one doing the sewing, like, all I need to do is just go over to deliver, see how it fits, and just note down anything that need to be adjusted, and then I'll bring it back if I need to, and get it adjusted, and let's take this on, because Emran, it's just such a deal to pass on, that Crom didn't want to pass on it, which is low key what Grima was hoping exactly would happen after learning from Crom that his sister is sickly, and so she makes frequent trips to the clinic, to just get checked up on, and I feel like this line is so thick. So yeah, so Grima kind of specifically asked that question because he kind of had a feeling that Crom would be like, I'll do it. And so yeah, so they set that up, and that just kind of gets the ball really rolling in terms of growing a relationship, because Crom makes a trip the first time. For the first time, Crom makes a trip and delivers. And he, of course, he has to stay to see how it fits on Grima, and see if there's any adjustments to be made, and all that. But when he goes over, in my head, what I pictured, that it was snowing, like, it was just a nice. It's been snowing quite lightly for the past few days. But when Crom goes over, and they're checking out the clothes, a storm brews up, like a big storm, and since Grima lives really far away from the main city and all that, it just wouldn't be safe for Crom to go back in that weather. So Grima allows him to stay, saying it's the least he could do since Crom made the trip, and it would not do for him to send him off in such a precarious situation. Especially since he's looking for a long-term business ship with their business, because he does enjoy the quality of work and all that from Emerin. And so that allows them to get to know each other a little more, because Grima, as his guest, Grima invites them to eat with him and all that, and Crom just finds it a bit curious that Grima lives pretty much alone. That, you know, he has his servants, but it's not like they sit with him and eat with him and all that. And does find it a bit lonely because, like, lonely on his behalf, because, you know, Crom's used to sharing a meal with his two sisters and just having lively conversations and all that. And so he feels a bit sad for Grima, and, like, you know, just kind of thinks, like, you know, while I'm here, I should keep some good company. And yeah, so just they just spend some time together. The storm lasts a few days, so Crom's there just for some solid time. And, you know, he's not 100% spending time with Grima. Grima still has to work and all that, but, you know, they still, at the very least, they're spending meals together. Well, not breakfast. Grima's ass is not awake for breakfast, but yeah, just Crom also helps around the house because his strength is needed, is useful, which Grima is appreciative of. I'm losing my colors. Right, here we go. Let me get this dark color again. And so yeah, because of that, they build kind of a relationship rapport with each other, just, you know, just friendly, of Crom being helpful. Even before he goes, like, he helps with some of the snow around the house. And Grima pays him because he's like, you did labor, like, don't fight it, just take it. Which, you know, Crom is grateful for, because it you know, Crom just works to help with Emerin, to help with her treatments and all that. And so, you know, Grima also just mentions that too, like, because Crom just be like, oh no, like, I did it to help, I did out of my kindness. And Grima just like, aren't you working to help with your sister's treatments? Like, you know, why are you rejecting it? Just take it. And so Crom's like, true that. And so it just kind of becomes a thing that when Crom goes over, like, the maids and all that, like, aren't hesitant to be like, oh, like, you know, Master Crom, like, could we please bother you to help us with something, and all that. And you know, Grima usually invites him for lunch before he goes and all that. And so, you know, these get closer over time. And I do think at some point Grima tries asking Emerin to become his in-house seamstress, but Emerin rejects him at first, saying that she actually really likes her own shop. She enjoys all the customers she gets and seeing them smile and be happy with her work, because, you know, she can't do too much work. Like, sewing is where she is able to feel like she's living. And so at first Grima accepts the rejection But later on, just Emerin is sadly getting worse. That she just can't work as she used to. That she's denying more and more orders and all that, and just kind of realizing like I can't keep up with this. Like at this point, like the shop's gonna have to close, and like how am I gonna work? And so again, just Grima offers to take her in as his in-house seamstress since his is going to retire soon. And so she accepts, and he offers his invitation to Crom too. Like you can move in too, since I know you guys live together. Lissa probably lives with her husband, whoever that may be. I always give Lissa a different husband each fic, because I really do enjoy Lissa with Gaius, but I also like her with Long Q, and who else do I like her with? Okay, sorry, I was putting on the sweater. It's getting a bit chilly. Is it chilly because I just showered, or is it actually chilly? I don't know. Both. It's both. So yeah, just and just that's just a huge relief to all three of them that Emerin can continue to work without continuing to have to push herself. And Crom just very grateful to Grima, who is hiring her. Oh, and also taking him in. And Crom kind of assumes that he's gonna work too, but Grandma's like, the fuck no. Like you can just live here, like. But Crom is a very restless man. Like he's such a man of action, so he just starts naturally helping around the house because that's what he did when he first went over. He was helping around the house, so it just felt natural to him to start doing that, and um helps with gardening and all that. Maybe doesn't do the gardening, but at least helps with bags of soil and heavy things. Oh. Okay. Yeah, just but Grima appreciates it that even though Crom doesn't have to, he does so. And of course, just naturally living together, they get to know each other more, and they fall in love, and they pork at some point. Anyway, that's my new AU I have right now. So there's not much substance there. Um, like there are some AUs I want to kind of tell you about, but I don't want to accidentally do the thing where I share about something and then just sharing about it like I'm satisfied. Because there are two fics in particular that I really want to write, that I do love to think about. Um. Trying to think. What's a good AU to talk about? That's safe. I gotta fix this. This is looking weird. It's like too chrobin. Doesn't make sense. You know what? Actually, I got one. So this is actually based off one of my fan arts. I actually came up with this idea as I was drawing it because I am just like that. I just come up with ideas based off the littlest things. So if anyone has seen the fan art, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's the fan art. It was for Chrobin Week, not last year's, but the year before that. Where it's my comic where like Royal, Grima, and Crom are meeting each other at a gala that Grima was invited to. And the comic is him introducing himself to Crom, and he's holding little baby Morgan, little toddler Morgan. And they're dressed all fancy and all that. And when he's in the middle of introducing himself to Crom, Morgan farts super loud, making Grima super embarrassed. And but Crom and Kid Lucina are just cracking their asses off at it, which just breaks the ice between them with the funny situations, kids being kids. But my idea behind all that I came up with when actually I don't know if I came up with this idea first and then the comic or what, but it was just so within the same time frame. What is wrong? What? Sorry guys, I need to just focus what I'm doing here. Okay, so based off that comic that I just mentioned, so the whole story behind that is that Grima and Crom, not Grima and Crom, sorry, Plegia and Elise have not, spoken to each other in a very long time since, the war. And Emerin decided to invite them based off Crom's suggestion that, because Emerin always idealizes for their 2 day shits to stop being such bitter enemies and all that, and like you know just being in peace with each other, and just actually able to apologize to Plegia for her ancestors who've always just made their nation suffer. And so Crom just kind of suggests like, why don't we invite them for the gala? Like, wouldn't that be like a great time because she probably just comments out loud like, I wish like we can invite Plegia, and Crom's just like, why not? And so it just kind of convinces her like, let's do it, like let's invite them over, and like um we can just see how things go. And so Emerin does it, and so she invites them, and it can also since there's a lot of council members who would be against it, like it's also just a good pretext to invite them over, so that way they can have their discussions after of like of what is the stance between their two nations. So surprisingly, Plegia accepts, and oh yeah, just Grima goes. Grima is in his power as Lord Grima. He is like they know he's Grima. It's not like I don't know. It just he's Grima. Okay, that's all I gotta say. Either you know or you don't know. But he goes with Morgan, and his whole little entourage. Um, because he had been thinking too of possibly reaching out to Elise, because he knows of Emerin, of trying to lead their nation to peace, and like just trying to undo everything that her father did, and both harming, just he understands that just their nation, Elise, had been hurt too, not nearly as bad as Plegia, but just their dumbass dad really put them through the ringer with the war. So it does make sense to him that they would reach out, because they're in a better state. And yeah, just is intrigued where it could lead. So he accepts it, and goes. And yeah, just of course based off my comic, like he tries being like super formal, and just trying to make a first good impression. But Morgan farts super loud. But like I said, it breaks the ice, because this everyone was super tense of how this meeting was gonna go. A lot of Elysians trying to be like, they're gonna assassinate us, like they're gonna take advantage of this, and there's gonna get revenge, be vengeful, and they're gonna assassinate uh the exalt and all that, and blah blah blah. Just people being cray. um and Greed was aware of that too, that that's how Elise is gonna be feeling. And that's how even his people were being like, what if this is like an assassination attempt on you? They're just trying to finish you off. And like, just, I don't know, just both sides of the cancel. Just being dumb. Grima, but yeah, Grima mostly agrees, because he doesn't want Morgan growing up in a future of conflict of nations. Like, he doesn't want her experience anything like that. Like, so if peace can be brought, even for just a moment, he wants to do it, even if it's just for Morgan's lifetime. He'll take it. So yeah, he goes, and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, just the first impression, there's just the icebreaker, and like just instantly, like Crom lightens up and just starts treating Grima just friendly and normally, and just Crom being Crom. And oh god, I'm so tired from all my gardening today. I honestly want to stream until midnight. Probably until 11:30, because actually I still do need to get my bunny ready for bedtime. So I can't be being loud at midnight and doing that kind of stuff. I don't actually like it like that. But yeah, anyway, Crom just instantly, just relaxes, because just all the tenseness was just farted out. And he just thinks it's just so, Morgan is just so adorable and hilarious, how he just like, shall we, Papa? Morgy fartsies. And I don't know, just yeah, they both have kids, which I will explain in a moment. That's the situation, the dealio of why Lucina and Morgan exist. So yeah, Crom just kind of instantly clicks with Grima, because they're both dads. both single dads. and and just, yeah, just knows that, how the other, like, nobles are feeling, of just like, just, uncomfortable with him there. And Grima, not Grima, Crom Crom is really annoyed by the nobles. He thinks they're just so effing annoying, because they're always just giving Emerin problems and just not allowing her to really just do her thing to bring peace. So Crom is just like extra, just like chill with Grima, to just kind of rub it in their faces, and just like, just throwing up the middle finger. Um, and Crom just makes a point to just be kind to him and stuff, and like, obviously, Crom was like pretty enamored when he first saw Grima, because he never knew a guy could be so beautiful. Because obviously the style to Elise, to Plegia, their outfits would be very different. And so just that exoticness, Crom's just like, oh damn. Um, but a lot of the nobles are just like, are just scandalized how Plegians dress. The Crom is just like, F these people. And so yeah, just so yeah, Crom just kind of becomes like his personal escort, just just sticking with Grima. So that way, just no one, just to ensure no one will bother him. Well, that was kind of the assignment in the first place from Emerin, of just being like, Crom, like, I'm gonna need your help though. Like, if we're gonna fight him, like, just, we know how the nobles are, like, and if there's anyone who can just deflect them, and just go about of forging a bond, like, it's you. And so she kind of assigned him to be like, I need you to be the one to take care of the king of Plegia while I'm handling other things. Um, and yeah, just kind of, just Crom out of everyone. It just would just be to be the best one to just be normal and forge a bond. Because Emerin feels like, since they are going to have some official matters to discuss, um, the day after the gala, um, she just rather just them enjoy themselves instead of feeling pressured. I don't know, just allowing just some sort of a feeling of freedom, that they're welcome, that they are just any other guest for the gala. Well, not just any other guest, but just that they can feel like, just no tension. Okay, I kind of need a pee. Be right back. Let me save. Let me plug in my laptop to charge a little. Oh, I'm gone. Where's the cord? Right here. What is I? Okay, come here back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Not that anyone's there, I think. I don't know. I can't see my viewers with this wacky ass setup. Okay, be right. Okay, I am back. Let me scooch back into my wacky little setup area. A kind of off topic. I mentioned that I did some gardening today. So what I did exactly was I. Why immediately go to sleep? Don't look at me. Don't perceive me. But I did some trimming or some pruning today on two trees in my yard. I managed to complete one tree because it's pretty tiny. But just two of these trees, they're trying to grow in new leaves, but like half of the tree still has a bunch of dead leaves on it still, even though it's been like crazy windy. The leaves didn't manage to fall off. So yeah, I was just helping them out. I just shook off all the dead leaves and pruned a bunch of super dried out branches. And I was planning on raking the leaves tomorrow to put them in a bag to throw away, but when I went right now to the bathroom, I saw my wild local bunnies. They're out there by the tree and they're eating all the dry leaves that I left on the floor. So maybe I'll leave them so they can keep eating them. It'll help me out instead of just putting it in a bag that's just gonna go to a freaking landfill. You know, feed the bunnies. Feeding the bunnies. So yeah, that makes me happy that they are enjoying the leavesies. I do see them eating a dry leaf sometimes, and then I was like, oh baby, and I'll find something in the fridge to give them. I usually give them. I use celery a lot in my meals. I just love it for ground beef meals. Usually not chicken meals, but any kind of ground beef meal I make, I always put in celery. I just feel like it enhances the meat. I don't know, just something about ground beef with celery is so good. But yeah, so usually I will give them like the kind of more insides of the celery, where like I really can't use it, or like on the celery I give them the small little offshoots with the leaves on it, and they like that. Or since I have my own bunny, when the food like gets down to like the core, like the heart, the vegetable heart, I'll save that for them and give it to them. Also my mom, she brings back apple skins and cores and sometimes pear from her work, because she works at a preschool, so she collects that for me so I can feed it to the bunnies. Oh yeah, I just always have something for them. I always feel really sad when I don't. They're usually little homeless bunnies. But yeah. So anyway, AU. What was I talking about? So Grima went to the gala. I'll just say that. Let's continue from there. So yeah, Grom. Crom. Is just by his side. Showing him around. They're spending some time at the gala. Eating some foods together. Morgan really enjoys spicy food because she's a sickly little girl. So a lot of her medicines are extremely bitter. And to help like kind of counter that, to help her put it down easier, they add in spices with it. So she has a spicy palate. And so she tries some spicy food. And it's like, and so Lucina tries it and is like, oh, I just, immediately regrets it. And all that. And Morgan doesn't actually like sweets too much because she's just so used to spicy food, but Grima loves sweets. So, Crom just happily provides them whatever they want. And, Morgan is that type of kid, just loves her new favorite person. So she's just all about Crom. Because also he's so tall and big, so she's like, he's a fun person. This is like really, it's not curbing all that well, huh? So anyway, at some point, Morgan needs the bathroom. Both Morgan and Lucina, so they go together. Crom goes to show them where the bathroom's at. They just make a family bathroom run. And as I have in my comic, like they take a long time going because fancy clothes and trying to help their kids go to the bathroom, well, namely Morgan. And so yeah, on their way back, Morgan notices the gardens and they're just like, let's go. And Lucina wants to go too. She wants to play with Morgan there, and Greenway just like, no, like we can't just leave the gala, like that's rude. And Crom convinces him like, oh, like it's fine, like don't worry, like it'll just be just a little bit of time, like come on, let's go. And so they go, and they just never go back to the gala. That's it. They just have such a wonderful time. The girls have a wonderful time together. Um, and Crom and Grima just bond a lot, and just by both being fathers, and I don't know, they just click because of course they're two halves of a whole. And so yeah, they just end up spending all night together, just talking while the girls play. Well, they first play with the girls a little, but then they start talking. So when the girls are just playing together, and then eventually, the girls fall asleep, but they're still just talking to the point where even the retainers go looking for them. Emran sent what's his name, Frederick, to go find them. Like where the f did they go? And he finds them that they're just talking in the gardens, and so one of Grima's retainers went looking for him too as well, and so they pass off the kids to just go take them to bed. Because at first, like, Green was like, oh, like, I guess, because the gala is like already over, and so Green was just like, oh, I suppose, like, it's time for me to go to return to my quarters, and I should put Morgan down for bed because it's not good for her to be sleeping in her dress in the cold. So I imagine it's cold, kind of chilly. And so yeah, just but the retainers. I feel like it would be Henry who went, and so he's like, oh my lord, like go ahead and keep talking. Like I can take the princess back. Like don't worry about it. And so Crom just asked the same of Frederick, like can you take Lucina back? And just let Emma know just that we're talking, we're just getting acquainted. And so so they just have all night to talk and all that, to the point where they're up literally all night, that when Grima gets hungry and his stomach growls, Crom's like, I guess oh, let's go get some food, and like it's already breakfast time. He's been talking all night. And so and so yeah, these get close, and then yeah, they just make that relationship, and it just helps the proceedings go smoother for the official meeting between two nation rulers of Emerald and Grima, of like just how to proceed, of like, you know, just having just a more willingness, just an obviousness that both of them, you know, want to get along. Like there's no ploy. Like it's, you know, they would like to move forward of just being friendly terms while they can. There's two leaders who are willing to be on friendly terms. And so, you know, of course, but there's a lot to talk about because, you know, Elise does owe, what's the word, a rumination to Plegia because, you know, they wrecked their nation, but Elise is still barely, like, only has recently, like, gotten their footing back, like, only thanks to Emerin, because I personally imagine, and this is something they pretty much said in the game, but I feel like no one ever, like, perceives this. Like, whenever I read a fanfic, like, people just jump to, like, oh, Elise is well, Elise is thriving, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that's the case at all. I still think there's still quite a few struggles. Like, I think Elise, like, is not, like, 100% Gucci. Like, they're getting by, but they're not abundant, you know? And, like, they're not completely lacking like they used to. But my personal headcanon is that their dad, through the war that he created, he just demanded so many resources that it just made them lose all those resources. Like, so how to explain this? So, like, a lot of the farmers they drafted, and so they lost a lot of farmers, and so food wasn't really getting produced. And I'd like to think that majority of their horses perished in the war, so that's actually why, like, there's not too many horse users in Plegia besides, like, the large plains they have. Like, quite honestly, I imagine just the damage their dad did through his war is like something the equivalent of like World War II, but just between two nations, where just, you know, severe rationing and just, you know, barely any food, and I don't know, just both nations suffered, and, like, you know, just a lot of fields got messed up from the war of just, you know, trying to sabotage each other and all that. And I don't know. So they do have provisions now, but I don't think they're like abundant. Like they need to just keep going consistent to reach abundance, and, like, you know, not going consistent can easily backtrack them. So yeah, just with that in mind, like, Grima is aware of that, and, like, you know, even though Pledgy does want, like, to be paid back for being put more or less in the same state. Because, you know, Crom's dad, who is the biggest Plegia hater, would be, like, just lighting all their farm fields on fire and stuff. And oh, I saw chat. It disappeared. Good evening, Bon Bon, the artistic bunny. Oh, thank you. I think your little titles you come up with are very fun and interesting. But welcome, Shadow. Welcome, Shadow. Your Awakening fan fiction sounds amazing. Thank you. I don't know how much you heard, but I'm just going off about it. So what I'm talking about specifically, if you just came in, this is my idea based off my comic I have, where I drew it for Chrobin Week. Oh, I should say, where it's the one where it's Royal Grima meeting Crom at a gala that they were invited to, and Grima is trying to make a really good impression because, you know, this is their first time their nations are meeting after the war that the stupid dad did. Um, and then yeah, Morgan ends up farting super loud and just breaks the ice that way. So yeah. Anyway, um, so yeah, that's the condition like both nations are in, and just Pledgia more so worse because the war was more on their side. And then the previous Oxalt was like just doing his damnedest to just bring that nation down and to suffer. Um, so what I would assume um what kind of helped save Pledgia is that just the desert lands just worked so against the previous Exalt, so I don't know, just certain things were managed to be saved at least. I hope your day was great. Thank you. It was pretty good. I did some gardening today. That was nice. I like being proactive. I hope your day was good. I hope you are having a wonderful day. And I appreciate that you always say that. It's very kind of you. I appreciate you. Thank you for always stopping by. Um, AU. So, this part is bugging me. So yeah, Grima and Crom, or Grima and Emerin are like just kind of discussing like how their nations can go forward. Because just Elise is like barely getting their footing. They're not abundant, but they do have provisions, and so they're just trying to work out like what can be done because, um, you know, Pledgia still has a lot of scars from the war and all that. And so it will take some time for them to figure it out. But Grima just like, I do need to go back because little Morgan is sicky, and so there are just things he needs to take care of that he only pushed to go because this is exactly what he hoped, that just their nations just coming to agreement to move forward in peace, because yeah, he just doesn't want his little baby, his little hatchling, to be going through anything that he did between their nations. So yeah, they go back and like, but Crom is pretty sad about it because he did really have a good time with Grima, and they promised to exchange letters because they did the few days Grima was over there. Yeah, just they just all the free time Grima had, he was spending with Crom, and the girls were spending it together. And yeah, just not Emerin, Lucina and Morgan became super close. They became super good friends. Where even Morgan was referring to Lucina as her big sister, being like, Pixie Swoosey. And so yeah, but Morgan was definitely crying her butt off when they were leaving, just like, no. So Crom promises that he'll come visit them, and he'll bring Lucina to just help her quiet down and just go home a little more obediently. And they make a promise. And so yeah, just I feel like that'd be kind of like a good chunk, not a good chunk, but just a nice amount of this idea of this fanfic would be Crom and Grima exchanging letters until finally Grima sends over a tome that he made that they can write in it live, basically text each other. And but even though he sends that over, they still send letters because they keep sending each other gifts. And and yeah, one thing that I really liked that I came up with this idea was time zones, because I feel like feel like that's not a thing mentioned enough, is the time zones between Plegia and Elise. So I thought it was cute if that when Crom's waking up, like he'll write to Grima before he goes to bed, but when he's waking up, Grima's still awake because he's just a night dweller. So I personally think the time gap, I put it that between the capital of Plegia to the capital of Elise is 4 hours. So when Crom's waking up at like 5 a.m., it's crack at dawn, Grima is still up. It's like 1 a.m. for him. And then when Crom is done with his morning training in the early morning, like around like 9 or 10 or something, Grima's still up. Even though it's like 5 in the morning for him. And so they kind of fall into this habit of, Crom just being like, all right, Grima, like, you should go rest up now. Like, blah, blah, blah. Just I don't know, just that cute little moment of them catching each other with time zone between them. And and yeah, and so but yeah, so they are like consistently talking to each other for a couple months until one day Grima like starts responding less and less. Like is taking longer to respond, like, which Crom doesn't mind. Like Grima just mentions like that he's been very busy lately and just, just has been forced to focus on certain things, and like just hasn't had time to write. Like just if he has any time, like he's working on something that's very pressing, a pressing matter. And Crom tries asking like, is there anything I can help with? Like because Grima is just very intentionally being vague. Like Crom picks up on that. So but just kind of just reassures Grima, like, if there's anything I can help with, like, please let me know. Like I'll do what I can. But just for now, like, I don't know, just tells Grima to make sure he's getting enough rest, and it's fine if he's not writing. Just what Crom wants most of all is for Grima to take care of himself, because he's gotten a good idea of how Grima is after a few months of talking. And so, yeah, so it becomes less and less until eventually Grima just is no longer replying, and Crom gets worried because, he just gets worried, like, what's going on, and, like, uh, yeah, he just gets worried, so, he has Sumia picking up his letters for him at the border where there's like I don't know, just there's just a border, like a border patrol thing that just now that they're kind of chill with each other, like, Crom can send her out to the Pledgian border patrol, um, and she picks up letters, and so concerns like Crom has her go, like, well, Crom is still sending letters and still sending like gifts and stuff, even though Grima isn't really responding. So he sends his own letter again with some gifts and just has her, like, asks of her to like check to like kind of question around to see like if she can learn like why Grima's so busy, and just is just worried, is just getting a bad feeling. And so he, sorry, I'm not looking at chat enough. He So yeah, he sends her off and she goes, and when she goes, she can already tell that the people look very like nervous and anxious, like not because she's there, but they were just already when she arrived, like they were just very like just seeming concerned. And so she decides to ask, and like the patrollers there like aren't sure, like they share in a glance, like, just like, what do we do, like, should we say something? And she's kind of like, what, like, what's going on? And so and like one of them's kind of resistant, but the other one's like, but what if they can do something? Like, what if they can help? And like, and so she's like, please, like, tell me, like, I want to know, and like my lord wants to know, like, if there's if there's something happening, like maybe we can help, like please, like, like if like I can keep it between us, like if you are feeling that concerned, like I'll make sure that only my lord and all that just knows, just them, like just keeping it secret. And so uh, one of the patrollers decides to speak up and is like, Princess Morgan fell extremely ill recently. Like she has always been extremely ill, but it's become very concerning. Um, and and just the whole nation is just concerned because they they don't mention this, but the reason the nation's so concerned because this has happened before, and I'll explain that in a bit. But and it's just become very worrisome because she's not getting any better. She just keeps getting worse to the point where um, Grima had to connect his life force to hers to just keep her stable. And uh, and so yeah, they're just very worried what may happen to the princess. And at that moment, Aversa appears. Actually, they don't know yet that Grima had to attach his life force, but they do know that just the clerics and everything, and even Grima himself have just been busying themselves or just trying to find a cure, or just like just make her better and all that. But then yeah, Aversa appears and informs Sumia that actually uh, Morgan has fallen into a coma, and that Grima had to attach his life force to her because she was actually dying, and so by attaching his life force, she at least is still alive, but just fell into a coma. And so Sumia just like, oh no, like, oh god, it's like just really sad and concerned. And even the patrollers just being like, what, like the princess has fallen to that level. And so Aversa actually went over to the patrol because she actually went over in the hopes to ask their new allies for help, because maybe they have something that Plagia doesn't that could help her. And at the very least, having Crom like being able to properly support Grima would help, because she's noticed that Grima has just been like also has mentioned a few times that he hasn't written Crom or anything, just kind of being like just voicing his worries that he hoped Crom isn't upset with his silence. Um and yeah, so she decided on his behalf to inform Crom, because Grima didn't want to worry Crom or Lucina, and but just knew that it would be for the best if they knew. And like um was is kind of hoping for Crom to come over to Plegia to just like at least just support Grima, emotionally. And so yeah, so Aversa is just like, I'm gonna leave tonight, you know, you fly back, you tell your lord, and if he decides he wants to come make the trip back with me to the capital and the castle, you know, today's the day. And so um so yeah, Osumia immediately flies back and rushes to tell Crom, tells him the situation. And Crom's just very just like, oh god, it's like, it's Morgan. And Lucina just like, Daddy, is she gonna be okay? And like, so Lucina insists to go because Crom at first was just gonna go, but she ends up convincing him to let her go too. Um, so that way she can also support Morgan. And yeah, just Emerin just kind of gives her blessing to for him to go and take care of their neighbors. And so yeah, just they pack up real quick and they immediately go over. Maribel, I think, goes. I can't quite decide if Lissa or Maribel goes. I feel like it would make sense for Maribel to go because I feel like she would know more. But also I feel like Lissa would also be able to convince to go, to be like, but I have divine blood. Like, I may not have a brand, but like we all know, like my healing magic is particularly strong because of our bloodline. So I don't know. I haven't decided on that. But so they're trying to keep it a small party, that's for sure, to go over. So yeah, so they pack up really quick and they try to also, like, in a rush, try to like figure out like what can they bring to possibly help and everything. So yeah, they go over and they make the trip overnight because that's when you're in the desert, that's when you should travel at night. And yeah, so and yeah, just Greenla is just very surprised at the presence of Crom and is like, what are you doing here? And Crom is just like, I heard the news, like I came as soon as possible, like, I'm here to support you, Grima. Like, I don't know if there's anything I can do, but the least I can do is help take care of you and, make sure you're doing well and just, just be here in your time of plight and all that, your time of need. And what happens next? So Grima just thankful, like, just at first kind of like just glares at Aversa because she did something without his permission. Because she even asked her, like, should I go inform them, and he was like, no, like, just leave them be, like they don't have to worry either. And so obviously she went against his orders. But she just shrugs it off. You're like, well, they're here now. So yeah, so Grima, when Crom sees Grima, he looks like a mess. He looks absolutely tired. He's clearly is not getting proper rest from just trying to figure out like what they can do about Morgan. And so and just yeah, so just they visit Morgan and they see she's in a coma, and like Lucina is just very sad and just like, is she gonna be okay? And like just doesn't want to leave her side as soon as she sees her. And like and just Crom is just also very heartbroken because Morgan, it was such a sprightly, energetic girl when they met her. She was such a lively little girl, so just seeing her just laying extremely quiet and still, like, just doesn't sit well with him. And yeah, so just Grima and Crom step out of the room so that way, they can talk, without Lucina around, because there's things he doesn't want to say around Lucina, Grima. And so as soon as they're in the hall, Grima, honestly, because I love angst, Grima just starts crying because he's like just mega distressed for his little baby, his little hatchling. And it just like he just doesn't know what to do because they're trying everything, they're doing everything possible, and they're even trying new things and like different things, and the most that he can just do for Morgan is just keep his life force attached to her so that way she doesn't completely plunge and go across the borderline. And so he so yeah, just in Crom just immediately just grips Grima, just holds him, hugs him, and just just lets Grima just release everything that he's been clearly holding inside him. And because Crom is like just someone he feels like he doesn't have to be strong, obviously, because they're two halves of a whole. But yeah, just Grima has just been trying really hard to just keep up a strong front as king and all that, and like just trying to make the others just not feel worried of like what's gonna happen. And so yeah, just Grima just releases his emotions, and after he's done, like he apologizes, but Crom is like, don't, Grima, like I understand, like you're going through something so tough, and like the least I can do is hear you out and just support you in a time of need. Like I understand of needing someone to just be able to get your emotions out, because just he just understands as a position of royalty that just you know Crom just can't go crying to any servant. Like he has his trusted companions, which is his sisters, and some of his friends like Sully and kind of Frederick, but still, and then like just mostly his sisters, because it's not like he would exactly like go running to them for like if he was in distress or whatever. So Crom just understands. Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at chat. Quick question, because your story sounds really good. What two characters from Echoes you wish had a support with each other, like a romantic support? I feel like this is obvious, and this might be like of course you would say that answer, but Leon and Valbar, if we're talking romantic. But if you're talking about just like having a support in general, because obviously not everyone has a support with each other. Oh my gosh, who was I thinking when I was playing last night? I was thinking like I wish these two characters had support. Um, I would like to see having a support in general. Um, Dean doesn't have many supports. I was actually thinking how I would kind of like to see him have a support that's like someone a bit of his opposite. Because so far the supports that we see like have been like, oh, like you're like a tough fighting guy, like so am I, or something. Just kind of knowing each other's names because of the reputation they made. So I would kind of like to see him have a support with just someone a little bit more opposite of him. So probably him and Jenny. That'd be kind of interesting. Or maybe who's in Celica's team? I can't remember. um, I don't know. Just something to just kind of pull out another layer of depth from him instead of just fighting guy. You know. Who is on Celica's team? there is Jenny, May. Um, does he have a support with Celica? Even Celica would be interesting. But yeah, I would just like to see just some sort of support where it's just someone who can complement him by being an opposite. You know. Even I would take even Dean and Leon, because I feel like just Leon's perspective on life would just kind of make him like, huh? just make, I don't know, just putting a different perspective of life in front of him. Maybe even with Valbar. But yeah. And then on Alm's team, on Alm's team, I would in general would like to see the girls have a support, like all the girls be having a support with each other. Because I think there's only Faye and Silk. I can't think of any other girls that have a support with each other. Besides them, right? So, just any of the girls with each other on terms of Alm's side. Yeah. Oh, my cheesy cardboard. Okay, anyway, back to AU. Don't worry, I'm almost done. Okay. So yeah, Crom is just supporting Grima, and then just kind of gets pushed by Tharia. I call her Tharia, not Tharja, because I like to think that's how you say it in Pledgian, that their J's are kind of accenty instead of just saying it in a straight English way, you know. So yeah, she just kind of appears and pushes, be like, my lord, like, you know, you have a guest, like, you know, go take him, you know, go eat, go take a bath, go show him to the baths, and blah blah blah, but just kind of, you know, using that as a disguised way to get Grima to rest up a little, because he's just been nonstop just working to figure out what's going on with Morgan, to do something about it. I don't know if I should make that thicker or thinner. Probably keep it thinner. And so yeah, and like, you know, it kind of stares at Crom like, take him, like, go. And so they go, and like, you know, and yeah, they just have a nice moment of just Crom helping Grima relax, like, you know, giving a massage in the baths and making sure Grima's eating and all that, and like Grima is kind of feeling like, oh, like I don't have time for this, but just is still wanting to be in Crom's presence and all that. So so yeah, they go, and they do just kind of relax. Where's the orangey color? And yeah, just when just after just spending some time together, Grima, and you know, just it's time to go to bed. Tharia actually approaches Crom privately once more, and just tells him like what's going on, like, because she knows Grima won't, like, even though the cat's already kind of the bag, like, she already knows that her master is stubborn and won't share the full story. So she explains that the reason Grima feels so extra pressed and concerned is because this is actually the second time this has happened, and not with Morgan, but Morgan, female Morgan, is actually his second child, and his first child is male Morgan, who is named Mark, to just, you know, make it easier. And that actually he's currently still in a coma, and Grima is still attached to him, like, still has their life force attached to each other, and that this was a couple years ago. So male Morgan is technically older than female Morgan. I'm just gonna say Mark, but just he's been in just like in a status, just like I don't know, just Grima ended up doing a thing where just he like kind of just like time froze him a little, so that way Mark wouldn't die until Grima could figure out like how to treat him. And then a few years later, and ended up having Morgan. And so that's why like he's so extra stressed, because he doesn't want another of his child to become like that. Like he like Grima just can't really handle that, of losing another child like that. Like they may not be dead, but they're barely not dead. And like so and yeah, so and that just, yeah, it's just a lot of stress for Grima to be attached to two people at once who are bordering on death at once. And that, that's just wearing him down even more, and especially since he's not taking care of himself, and um just all that, just all the cards kind of stacked against him. Oh. And so, she tells Crom that because she just wants the emphasis of like, Crom should be making sure to take care of him in places that they can't. And she also wanted um to get his help by having Crom be added on to like the life force connection, because actually a great because it's so strenuous to be attached to two people like that. The members, like his retainers and all that, and just various people of the Grim Legal Council, they're all swapping and taking turns. Oh, I didn't notice. But there is more support conversations if you got the Deliverance DLC pack. Unfortunately, I did not. I was gifted this game Echoes long after the shop closed, so I can't get anything. The last thing I bought was the some Awakening DLCs, but I didn't get everything. I wasn't able to buy the future past. I got the summer and the harvest festival, and that was it. And I was like, oh, I'll buy the future pack later. Like I just really want to see the fun ones first. And then it was too late. um, I'm kind of sad about that. If I want to play DLC, I'd have to watch it or play a ROM hack. Sadly. So let me finish this glove. I somehow eventually went to this glove. Okay, this ring is like way thicker than this one. So let's make this one thicker. It's smelling super like dinky. Anyway, AU. I swear I'm almost done. And it's just helping time go pass by. So yeah, she inquires of Crom to get him on board, because it's wearing down on the members who don't have the capacity like Grima does. The reason like he's been able to last so long is just literally just because of his power, his sheer power by being Grima. So yeah, so she's like, you are a branded as well, like you clearly would have a lot more power than we do, and like we're gonna we might be swapping out, but we're gonna eventually burn out, and then the burden's gonna fall solely on their lord. And so to just help ease the burden, like she thinks at the very least Crom can do is that, and but just knows like Grima would not ask of Crom of that, because he would feel she just already knows her master. So yeah, so she inquires for him, and Crom is just like, hell yeah, like put me on that. Sign me up. And so and Henry's there too, because he's the one who's skilled at it, of doing the life force thing besides Grima. So yeah, so they add him on, relieving of their own burden, and they just for now decide to just give him a small portion because it's spread among many members. So they at first just try giving Tharia's portion to him, and then when he like cause just to see how it affects him and all that, and he seems totally fine. He's like, yeah, like I just kind of feel like maybe you know I went running, but I'm not like tired or anything. Like I feel fine, and so they give off Henry's portion as well, and Crom is just kind of like still pretty fine, just like it's just kind of just like yeah, I just kind of feel like I worked out, but it's not like I'm exhausted or anything. Like this is not too much, so so Crom just like, can you give me any more? Like, this is only you two, and you just said that this is among like quite a group, including Grima, who's bearing most of it. Like, are you able to just give me more? Like, because I'm clearly fine, and if you like, I can't do anything, and you guys are doing something by helping Grima get research and everything. Like, this is truly the least I could do of helping you get things together. Oh, is my neighbor lighting their fire? No, I need to check. Be right back. Oh, let's plug in my computer. Yeah. Okay, guys, I need to end stream because obviously I was gone for 40 minutes. But my neighbors are doing something dangerous with their fire pit, so I have to keep an eye just in case. I need to call the fire department. I'm so sorry to end. Wish you all a blessed and safe night or day, wherever you may be. Until next time, bye bye.